Hello and welcome back for another episode of the Arlington Experience with Jim Ross. I am very, very excited today because I'm sitting here with a good friend of mine, Mr. Greg McCarthy, with Legal Draft Brewery right here in the heart of Arlington. If you haven't been over here to see Legal Draft, you need to get here. Greg, good morning to you.
Morning to you, Jim.
You're a lawyer by trade, right?
Correct.
How in the world did you go from being a lawyer to owning a brewery?
I like to say it was the dangerous mix of a little time on my hands, the passion in the subject matter, and the foolishness to think that we could actually pull it off.
Well, pull it off you did here. How long have y'all been here in Arlington?
Coming up on 5 years. We opened the tap room in July of 2016. So,
What sets Legal Draft apart from your typical brewery around town?
I like to think that ours is a little different than some of them that you can see in Dallas and Fort Worth and around Texas for a couple reasons. Really, number one, we're all family owned. Our investment group is all friends and family of mine. My neighbor Kurt Taylor and I run the place. We've lived 2 doors down from each other now for about 30 years. And the other reason really is that we brought something to Arlington that is pretty unique. You know, we didn't build a new building. We didn't go into a strip center. We moved into what used to be the service department of a car dealership that was built in the late 50s and early 60s. And, we took a part of town that was really, frankly, kind of dark and scary when the sun went down. And we have helped to turn this place into something that's really cool, attracts a lot of people, a lot of businesses, and, frankly, we're not done yet.
Well, we're sitting here today and we're wearing these masks, and COVID has come in and hurt all businesses in Arlington and across this country. How has COVID impacted Legal Draft?
Well, it frankly hit us like a sledgehammer, Jim. It had a couple of big effects, one of which I'm sure people don't really focus on or perhaps even understand. That the one that's visible and people can see is when we were shut down by the executive orders in the springtime, we lost all of our taproom business. Fortunately, the legislature had passed a new law that went into effect last fall in 2019 that allowed us to sell beer to go from our tap room. So we did have a little bit of business that we could lean on, but frankly not much, and certainly not enough to survive long term on. And we've been able to be open since late summer as a result of the TABC and the governor's office working together to reclassify establishments like ours as restaurants. We provide food when we're open, and we've got the ability to generate more than 51% of our income from non-alcohol sales. So we're able to stay open. That's been the visible part of it, and that's been pretty tough. Big domestic brewers and their light beer have just flooded the market. You go into a Total Wine or a spec store, and you'll see 10 high and 20 deep macro American lagers for $15.99 a case.
Wow.
We sell our beer for $8.99 a six-pack, so it's no contest. And we simply can't take that sort of loss long term like they can to recover volume.
Sure.
So the second round of PPP coming is going to help us a lot. And frankly, we've done a few other things both internally and sort of out in the market to help us get in a position to survive and thrive once we get through the pandemic. So we have a relatively optimistic outlook, but don't let me fool you, it's been rough.
Let's talk about owning a business here in the city of Arlington. Why Arlington, and what has Arlington done good for you, the city, and what could we do better at?
Well, why Arlington's fairly simple, and it's a long story, but it doesn't take long to tell. Kurt Taylor and I have lived in North Arlington for, in my case, 30 years, and 32 actually, and in Kurt's, getting closer to 40. We raised our kids here. We sent our kids to school. This is our home. And when we decided we wanted to open this brewery, we did take a look at Dallas and Fort Worth. We did our due diligence looking at other spots around the Metroplex, but we really did want to be here in Arlington. It was important for us to make that contribution back to the city. And we didn't have a brewery at the time. We still only have two of us, us and Division. There was a time when Arlington was very opposed to a brewery in particular, and there was a time when the city of Arlington really did not pay a lot of attention to the revitalization of downtown. And so I had a few concerns, and I'm happy to tell you that our experience with the city of Arlington has been overall extremely positive. I've found that the folks at the city are easy to work with. They will take a phone call. They'll take a meeting. They'll listen to what we have to say. You know, I think there's always a little room for improvement, but frankly, I've been pleasantly surprised at just how good the city has been to deal with.
Now, you're right in the middle of what we know as urban union here, and you were the main first tenant in here with urban union years ago. So the revitalization of this downtown area, I think, is greatly attributed to you and Kurt's willingness to step in here and say, we see this vision. We're going to come here and do what we can to help promote and revitalize this area. So thank you so much. I can tell y'all this. You know I have a restaurant, the Mercury Chop House. We only serve our draft beer from Legal Draft. Nobody else is on draft at our restaurant. It's not because we're just friends. It's because it's the best beer out there. If you want to enjoy yourself and come and have a nice cold brew and get it from some of the nicest people on the face of the earth, please hunt out Legal Draft. Legal Draft Brewery is the best place around right here in the heart of Arlington. Greg, thanks so much.
Thank you, Jim.
I appreciate you. Folks, we look forward to seeing you on the next go around.